This is the time of the year where I know it's stressful, but you got to be grateful for what you have because life can go sideways very quickly. And it wasn't that long ago that Aaron Rodgers was celebrated as kind of the rock star of the league. He was the good-looking guy. He had kind of an independent streak. He was in Green Bay. It was kind of an odd fit, but it worked for a long time. And just to give you a sense of what a circus he entered, because remember, that was a good marriage. And Aaron wanted out of the marriage. He had the wandering eyes. According to a story in The Athletic, Woody Johnson, who owns the Jets, vetoed a Jerry Jeudy trade. Jerry Jeudy, a former Bronco, now in Cleveland, having a great year. He vetoed it because the influence of Madden ratings, and apparently the Madden rating stems from his teenage sons, Brick and Jack, which sounds like a really cool Nickelodeon show. Yeah. Anyway, there was also a guard that didn't have a power rating on Madden. Woody Johnson didn't like, and maybe Brick and Jack or Jack and Brick, 97.5, Clovis, New Mexico's best rock, whatever that is. They didn't like it. Also, another story today is speculation that Garrett Wilson wants out. Excellent young receiver. So, oh yeah, and your quarterback's in a dock taking shrooms with a bunch of other lost souls. I know the Green Bay Packers get a lot. You know, we kind of make fun of them. They're a little bit square. They probably all still use flip phones in the front office. But I got to tell you something. They would be laughing their butts off right now if they weren't getting ready for the playoffs, which, you know, the Green Bay Packers do every single year. And, you know, Aaron's out there in that self-absorbed world of Netflix and documentaries. And I'm sitting there thinking, the reason you're trying to find yourself, because that's why you take shrooms and do that stuff. You're trying to find yourself is because Aaron lost himself. The Packers never forgot who they were. This was a great marriage. I mean, if you're a quarterback and you land in Green Bay, do you know how lucky you are? You get a small, friendly local media. Go ask Aaron about the New York media. You get, I mean, when's the last time the Packers had a bad offensive line? 30 years ago? I couldn't tell you if they've had one in 30 years. You have a former player who went to Colgate, smart guy Mark Murphy, running the franchise. I'm not sure anybody, maybe the Steelers, does anybody draft and develop players better than the Packers? They always have offensive coaches. Sometimes they have a good running back. Sometimes they don't. They do now. They've missed on a few running backs. But by and large, you can't do better. The fans are like collegiate. They love you. They worship you. And this was a great marriage. And somebody had wandering eyes. And it's really funny because who Aaron was married to had been successful on her own, from a great family, very dependable, didn't need Aaron. They had Brett Favre. Jordan Love was in tow. Aaron made this marriage dissolve. This is Aaron's thing. And as they say, the grass isn't always greener. The story today is Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson is listening to power ratings on Madden. Joe Douglas, the former GM, was quoted saying today that he got tired of listening for advice from teenagers. Garrett Wilson wants out. Aaron's in a dock taking shrooms. And I look at this thing and I'm like, the Green Bay Packers have the second best odds to win the Super Bowl from the NFC, second best NFC odds. So this whole thing is, listen, I always, you know, we've all heard the saying, the grass is always greener. Sometimes the grass is greener. I mean, sometimes it is. I mean, Matt Stafford, Lions to Rams, the grass was greener. Sometimes it is. But never forget, the Packers, when everybody else was doubting Aaron Rodgers in the draft, the Packers said, no, we think this kid can work. And when Brett Favre was treating him like crap, and if you read Ian O'Connor's book, he was, you know, it was really uncomfortable. He kind of bullied Aaron. And the Packers supported him. And they kind of supported his prickly nature and the passive-aggressive stuff. All they asked was, you know, be around in the summer, be committed, what are you doing? And he went on a retreat and into darkness, and when he came out, they'd had enough of getting kind of snipey, snarky comments for years. But it's interesting. This Jets thing now is a complete circus. And it's like, you were in this great marriage. in this perfect organization, you want it out, and this is what you get. Because, by the way, there are a lot more ownership groups that are closer to the Jets than the Packers' no-owner situation. How many great owners are there in the league? 8? And the Packers are better run than every team in this league that doesn't have a great owner. Because there's more mediocre to bad owners. So, you know, I look at this thing. I don't know if Aaron understands what a mess this is, but there are 3 broken franchises in the league, and he's with one of them. So yesterday, Julian Edelman was on the show. And I've said before, the Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't even think it's close, they have the best players in the league. They have the best roster, especially now that Detroit's roster is falling apart physically on the defensive side. It's the best roster. Can their pure talent in Philadelphia overcome all the nonsense? Historically, Julian Edelman was on the show yesterday, and historically, it's usually a bad omen.
It would be unreal to me to see if they can continue to have all these little feuds, these outside noises. We got Dom, the security guy, who's like, we have so many things. It would surprise me if they went on won the Super Bowl, because there's going to be a fundamentally sound team that's going to be mentally tough. That's not going to go down this road. That's going to, that's going to handle them. I've never seen this with leadership the way that they have. That's to go out and win a Super Bowl.
And playoff football is a little like the holidays for the rest of us. Travel and family and gifts. And it gets a little tight, the schedule. People feel ignored. People want a little more love. You've got to play some political games. Get people the right presents. Make sure you give grandma the attention and your in-laws. Feelings get hurt. The kitchen's always hot because of the cooking. The holidays are wonderful and joyous, and so are the playoffs, but they're different, and little dramas can explode into big dramas. And right now, if the playoffs started in the NFC, Philly would open at home against Washington, a rookie quarterback. That's a W. But that next game currently would be against either the red-hot Vikings, Stafford, McVay, and the Rams' weapons, or a Tampa Bay team you cannot run on, forcing Jalen Hurts to win the game, not Saquon Barkley. So I could see Philadelphia plowing through Washington. But, man, those games after that are red-hot quarterbacks, red-hot teams, house money, nothing to lose. And I'll go back to that sideline confrontation. I'm sorry, I don't have a problem when a player like a Travis Kelce gets mad at a head coach. I understand players losing their cool, but when a coach loses his cool regularly, I've never seen that. And we saw it again this past weekend, and Julian Edelman addressed that as well.
I think there's a lot of lack of respect for the head coach. And players they have the best roster. They got really good football players. But I think that the leadership, you can't have a head coach that doesn't have the respect of everyone. I just don't. When it comes down to it, in like a gotta have it situation or some kind of something where he's going to have to make a decision, I just don't see it happening. It's either Super Bowl or bust for this team. It's not about getting to the NFC Championship. It's not about winning 2 playoff games. This team needs to win now.
And I was thinking about this morning, about the Philadelphia playoff games. That first one, Washington will get overwhelmed. But if they have to play Tampa, we all know that Tampa's played pretty well against Philadelphia. Like, we all understand that. And Sam Darnold's red hot, and so is McVay and Stafford. All the pressure to be on Philadelphia. We all know this. Even with Kansas City back-to-back championships, these games all come down to like a minute 15. The sideline, intensity. Like, this is a team, Philadelphia, that has won 10 or 11 straight, bulldozing people, and they're having arguments in the sideline now. If you think your family is feisty now, wait till you're all in the same house and the oven's hot and everybody's waiting and the kids are crying and you haven't seen your in-laws in a while, and now you know why, because they're aggravating if you spend more than 2 hours with them. A couple glasses of vino mixed in. I'm just saying, man, Playoff football ratchets up everything. Everything. And if we're seeing this now, Edelman sees it, I think it, and I think Philadelphia's easily got the best players. The question is, can their raw talent overcome so much of this nonsense and noise?
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.